Hey, joining us now on the MARR Rock Show, we're glad to have Scott from Alice Sweet Alice back on the show, making their second appearance on the show. We were just talking off air. It's been a couple years now. They're from Kansas City, and they've got some exciting new news coming up. So, Scott, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us back.
Now, before we get to the brand new news, knowing that it has been a little while since you've been on the show, why don't you give our listeners like a brief bio of who Alice Sweet Alice is?
Okay, well, Alice Sweet Alice is a female-fronted rock band. We're a six-piece, two guitars, myself on bass, drummer, and our female vocalist, Liza Jean. We've been a band since 2007, actually, but we've had a few different members over that time, and we've been based primarily in Kansas City, but we've played all over the Midwest, from Chicago to New Orleans. We have 6 albums out. Our most recent one is going to be coming out in let's see, I think in March. March 15th, and that's going to be called Viola Organista, the Macabre Carnival. So, but that's us in a nutshell. We're a rock band. We do alternative rock, which is kind of a big umbrella. It's mostly post-punk, kind of 90s grunge rock kind of people like to think we sound like. Indie and post-punk, like late 80s electronica type stuff too.
So you mentioned the big news and why we have you on the show tonight, partially, is that you have a new album coming out in March. So tell us a little bit more about the album, where it was recorded and produced, and what we can expect from it.
The album is completely self-done by us. It was recorded at Audio Cave Recording Studio, which is actually my studio, engineered by myself. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that partially for a living. So, and I've been doing it for a long time. So it's a self-recorded album, self-produced. It's a 9-song album, and it's partially a redo of an album that we put out in 2016, which I'm considering more of a demo now, because it had our former members on it. And it was when we released it before, it just was kind of rushed. So we're basically taking our time with this one. The songs have developed over time. They've developed not only because we've played them with new people, but the songs just naturally develop over time. So the new versions of these songs are just hitting on all cylinders. We're really super excited about it. Liza Jean is just a wonderful new vocalist for us, very passionate, and so you can just expect a just kick-ass album from start to finish. It's going to be released on CD and probably on-demand vinyl as well.
So one of the songs we're featuring tonight on the Rock Show is Smile. Tell us a little bit about it. I was watching the music video today, so tell us about the music video and the song.
Music video and the song came out sort of in the in-between when Alice Sweet Alice disbanded. I was married to Alley Cat, the former singer, and never marry your lead singer, because it's not a good idea. So the band broke up. I broke it up to save my marriage, but it didn't work. So I figured, well, since it's always been my band, I'm going to just keep it going. So I did. And Smile came out sort of in my whole, I guess it was just sort of regrowth, self-analyzing, all that stuff you do in between, after a really bad breakup. And the song is kind of about a girl who's a really good friend of mine, who I kind of had a crush on at the time, and just me feeling like my heart was open again. And I pretty much did that song all by myself, except for the drums, which have our old drummer, Chris Poggi, on, and Shadron Dennis, who's one of my current guitarists, but I did all the rest of the instrumentation myself. So I decided to do it under Alice Sweet Alice because, again, I had some Alice Sweet Alice band members on it, and it's probably going to be a song we're going to do live.
Now, when you do it live, I got to ask, are you going to be doing the vocals, or is your lead singer going to be doing the vocals?
Oh, I'll be doing the vocals on it, but we will have the thing is about the new lineup of Alice Sweet Alice is we have a lot more vocalists now. Primarily, we're female fronted, so Liza Jean does most of the singing, but I still do. There's a couple songs that I sing from the old days that we've brought back into the set list. I started the band singing back in 2007, and I don't sing nearly as good as Liza Jean. So I'm just, I keep my mouth shut except for when I have to. For the most part, I've always enjoyed doing background vocals, and I've sort of been a reluctant lead vocalist, but there are some songs that I love singing for us. One of them is called Blood Roses that we do live. That was a redo from our 2007 album First Light, but that song is actually, you can hear that on our SoundCloud account. People want to check that out, SoundCloud/Alice Sweet Alice. It's actually on our website too, AliceSweetAlice.com. It's a single. So we release singles every now and then and videos just to kind of keep things fresh. It's just extra content for people, and we're going to be doing a lot of that stuff through our Patreon too. If people want to join us on our Patreon, you can. If anybody doesn't know about Patreons, they're sort of one of those things that you become kind of part of the family. For a very small monthly contribution of however much you can afford, and get really cool behind the scenes stuff. We have a lot of really cool prizes and packages on that. But so anyway. Total roundabout, like off the hip answer there for you, but Smile was a single, and there's a bunch of singles there on our website, stuff that you'll probably never see on an album. But again, I have a studio. We have so many ideas. We just like to keep content going constantly.
Now, another tune I want to ask you about that we're going to play tonight is Strange Way. And when I listen to that, every time I listen to the tune, I kind of feel like it's a Halloween tune. Like it almost has an eerie kind of vibe to it. Tell me about that tune.
Yeah, Strange Things, definitely. That was one of the songs on the Viola Organista and Other Possible Dreams album, and that's going to be on Viola Organista, the Macabre Carnival. That song was completely redone by ASA's current lineup. And it's just... Our former singer, Allison, Alley Cat, sort of wrote it about an old guitarist of ours named Ron Bales. Ron Bales was a major conspiracy theorist, okay? So we would and it was just sort of a tongue, we love Ron, believe me, but he was just always talking about, he was always listening to Alex Jones and talking about all the ramps on the side of the freeway were for sharpshooters. Just everything. It was just we couldn't believe it. But so that song is kind of about him. It's not about him. It's just about people that are conspiracy theorists. And it just sort of took that really weird turn, just some songs just do that, they just sort of take on a life of their own. And we've always kind of had sort of a little creepy vibe, sort of a Halloween-y type thing. In fact, we do these shows that we call ASA Masquerades a few times a year, and they are costume parties. So, and those were just an excuse to keep Halloween going all year. It's my favorite holiday. It's how can we just keep dressing up all year long? Well, we'll just put on a party, costume parties all year long. So yeah, we're doing those again too.
So you've got a really cool show coming up from a band we like a lot and have had on the show, Icon for Hire. Tell folks about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, what a dream come true for Liza Jean, our new singer. She actually started singing. She's young. She's 25 years old. She sang when she was in high school, but she stopped for a while, and then she restarted because she started listening to Icon for Hire.
Oh,
she
wow.
She felt like the songs were talking to her, and just they really inspired the hell out of her. So when she found out that Icon for Hire was coming to Kansas City, she was like, oh my God, we have to try to play this show. Well, Alice Sweet Alice has been in Kansas City for a long time, and we are sort of established here, and we were able to score the show. And Liza Jean she could not believe it. She was just like, shut up. I'm like, am I speaking English? And I was telling her, she's like, show me the message. She wouldn't believe me. So anyway, long story short, it's a dream come true for her. It's like her heroes. So we are just going to just knock the freaking roof off that place that night. And we're just this is only going to be our 5th show back with the new lineup, but we're starting to get some really great opportunities right now. So we're just going to keep right on going.
Now, talking about great opportunities, I saw you guys are on Pandora now, and from what I understand from folks in the industry, that's not that easy to do, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, you have to submit, and basically they have to, like, I don't know how the approval process works, but they just don't take anybody. And I think it has to do with not only the music itself, but the way that it was recorded and sounds and everything like that. So it's it's an honor to be on Pandora, really. I just think it's funny who they pair us with. It's just, it's the funniest thing. It's like they'll pair us with like Nirvana and like all these weird bands that I never ever thought that we sounded like. But that's a pretty common problem with us. People can't really pigeonhole our sound, and they never have been able to.
Well, it's funny. That was the last question I was going to ask you. Is that's a perfect segue. I wrote down, you seem to be a band that could fit with a wide array of genres, and like, has that been a challenge for you deciding who to play with? Like, as you're trying to book shows, who do you book with your style?
Yeah, well, it can be challenging for sure. I mean, because people like boxes. They like for you to be able to tell them, okay, well, this band sounds like this band. Or we have a really hard time coming up with that. Because, and it's not because we're trying to sound different, it's because that my personal tastes in music are so wide and varied. I hear things from so many different genres that I like, that I incorporate in what we do. I mean, I listen to songs in the, Stevie Wonder and Mastodon. I've been listening to a lot of the Pixies. I listen to jazz and blues and just all kinds of things, but I hear things that I love. And I've always kind of used that stuff in the music. And, and then of course the band members that we have in here, they all have their own styles that they put in too. So, but that's always been kind of a challenge for us in that we don't really fit into a neat little box. So, I mean, it's kind of cool in some ways too, but it has been a bit of a challenge for us. But I just don't know what to do about it. It's just that's how we write. I mean, that's just it. So,
well, there's plenty of bands out there that fit into that mold that eventually land somewhere that a group just latches on. And hey, so they are Alice, Sweet Alice from Kansas City, Missouri, and making their second appearance on the show. We've had Scott with us. And Scott, once again, what's the name of the new record and when's it coming out?
The new record is Viola Organista, The Macabre Carnival, and it's coming out March 15th to the world, and it'll be on CD and vinyl by demand. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome.
So check them out there, Alice, Sweet Alice. You can find them on Facebook and all those digital outlets where you go to find people. So, Scott, man, thanks a lot for coming back on the show and reaching out to us, man. We appreciate having you. We're going to keep following your guys' career as you move on.
Thank you so much. We love being on the show. We'll come back anytime.